Hey there, this is Anita from the Wise Women's Workplace, and I'm here to share with you insights that made the difference in my journey from administrative assistant to executive director and beyond. Over the years, I've collected lessons learned on how to become a sought-after employee, and I want you to know them too, so that you are finally valued for your real contribution at your workplace. So, let's get started. Today I'm going to share with you a few tips on how to improve your email communication so that it's a lot easier for you to get faster responses to your emails. When I was an administrative assistant, I used to have to remind people a lot to get answers for my email requests, and it was really irritating because it wasted a lot of my time. I was just starting out at the time, and I thought it was just how things worked. Maybe because I was junior, or maybe it was acceptable that people were just not good about answering emails. So I just kind of accepted it. But when I reached management level, I had a lot more work and many more emails to deal with. So waiting for feedback from my mails really became a problem, as it seriously slowed me down in my own work and in my team as well. To speed up responses, I tried to write what I call self-contained emails. Emails including everything that the recipient could possibly want to know about the topic so that they could give me an answer easily. But I still had problems with people responding. And one day, I was so exasperated, I asked a coworker why he took so long to answer my mails. And his answer was that my mails were so long that he often didn't read all of the text or didn't see there was a question he needed to answer. Ouch, that hurt. Here I was trying to write my emails as complete as possible to provide all the background and information that he could want, and now he's telling me that it was too much information? I just kind of thought, yeah, okay, whatever. Truthfully, I didn't really believe that my long mails were the reason he didn't answer. I still thought people were bad about getting through their own emails. And as these unanswered mails were a real problem, I sought out what others were doing to have success. I went on a hunt to find the best tips on how to get people to answer their emails. And the most effective, but I would also say the worst suggestion I found, was to forward the mail to the person again with no text in the message body and to copy their boss. Yep, that was effective, but didn't make me very popular. And sometimes I got angry messages back, copied to my boss, and created friction. So that really backfired. I had to finally acknowledge that the problem was probably my own. So what I finally decided to do was to implement good communication practices into my email writing to try to improve the response rate by looking at 3 different parts in particular. First, I looked at the subject line, and I decided for myself how I could use the subject to signal the recipient that the mail required action. I settled on using specific formulations in the subject line, which were most often about signaling what the topic of the email was and what I would call medium depth of detail. So enough to signal the general topic and maybe use an indication about what needs deciding and general timing. So maybe something like annual meeting - room options to decide by Tuesday. An added bonus of this approach is that it helped me clarify what I really wanted to ask in my email. And sometimes in really desperate cases, when I knew that somebody was really overloaded with work, or if it was something that was extremely urgent, I would add decision needed or action required in all caps in front of the subject line. I wouldn't really recommend this approach very often, though. Second, I tried to figure out the best way to write the body for the mail. I thought about what information to provide. So what kind of background and critical information did they need to know? The structure and format of the email. Should I use bullet points with phrases or paragraphs with complete sentences? And where in the mail I make my request? I thought about the voice of the mail, how formal or directive it should be, the kinds of salutations and closing, and if I wanted to include any small talk. And most importantly, how to communicate concisely and in a way that would get me an answer in the time frame I wanted. And the third thing I did was to think about the extra options. So, who should get copied on the mail? Double checking that the attachment was there if necessary. Whether or not to put a chaser on the mail, to get a delivery and read receipt. And should I change the status? Maybe use a red flag. By the way, I almost never do this unless it is truly urgent, as this gets old really quickly for people. Of all of these things, looking pragmatically at the subject, the body, and the extras, it allowed me to get a much better response rate on my mails over time without getting frictional with people. This has saved me a lot of time and headaches, as I don't have to chase up on the responses to these emails anymore. And in the end, people actually usually give me a very timely response, which allows me to move things forward faster. So, wins all around. Anyway, those are briefly some things to think about when you're writing mails for which you want an answer. If you would like to know more detailed information about the things I have focused on in my own email writing, you can find more information at www.wisewomensworkplace.com/email writing pointers. I'll include the link in the show notes for easy reference. Also, I invite you to join the Wise Women's Workplace Facebook group to be part of a free but valuable community of women helping each other in the workplace. And finally, remember to check back here or subscribe for more tips on how to become a sought-after employee. There are a lot more helpful tips on the way. In the meantime, take care of yourself and be wise.